Believe that 5 years ago today, 5 years ago, right now, I created my very first YouTube channel. Before then, I was just watching on Google, I didn't log in, didn't like any videos, weren't subscribed to anyone. And 5 years ago, that all changed. And here we are 5 years later. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Lego Star Wars minifigures. Very generic, widespread, just shotgun approach to a video idea here, or a live stream idea. But we are going to be we're doing a tier list. We're doing a tier list, and just before I get into a few other things that I want to talk about before we get into said tier list, this is the tier list we're going to be making. Well, more importantly, you're going to be making. I've already done this. I've already done this tier list. This is a lot of your input for this stream here. Make your voice count. Let us know in the comments your favorite minifigures and whether you think any minifigures throughout the stream. Feel free to interrupt. Throughout the stream, you think a minifigure's in the wrong space, you let me know and we can switch that up. But I have already listed my own choice, and maybe I'll compare it to what we do over this stream, and you can too in the mainstream, the wide one on YouTube. You can I think I've got the link in the description. Go check out the link in the description at any point throughout this stream or any time afterwards, as long as Tier Maker hasn't shut down, and you too will be able to make your own tier list. And it'll be interesting to see down the line what everyone thinks of these minifigures, because I'm sure years down the line it's going to be very different to what it is today. Hello there, General Grievous. Thank you very much. 5 years on YouTube is crazy, and actually I am expecting a parcel. YouTube have reached out. They're sending us a little something special, so I will talk about that when that arrives. We'll see what that is. In the meantime, we do have something from Lego, and it's nothing to do with the 5 years on YouTube, but it is my third or fourth replacement parts. This should be now. Haven't opened it on before the stream. I've learned absolutely nothing in my 5 years here on YouTube about opening things live on camera, but it's in the bag. It's in the bag, the last two. If you've seen my Clone Wars upgrade video, which might be out, then you'll know I have recently ordered Plo Koon's legs and Fox's torso, which needed a new one. Hello there, Dominic. Thank you, Slow Coffee. Thank you very much. And I've also broken some Lego parts. So these aren't minifigure parts here. Fox's torso is an improvement, though Plo's legs turned out just to be how they were made. No improvements needed there. Our legs aren't broken, but we do have another lot for Kit Fisto. Just a 1x1 clip and a 3x3 off of the 2012 Old Republic Fighter. Let's see if I can get the set up. It's the dark red one. Yeah, the Lego Old Republic Fighter. It doesn't say. Oh, I'll tell you where. We'll have the date and all other information. We might even be able to get the designer of it. So this set came out the 1st of June 2012. Do we have the designer? No, I think this is before designer interviews, so there's no way of knowing who the designer is. But that should be now the final. Nothing else special inside this bag. That's the receipt for them. No, and just a bit of a bubble wrap. Great quality printing on the, oh, you can't really see it. There's blue and yellow lines all over this. A lot of receipt printers have been faulty recently, so I'll sort those into my drawers. The clips are still quite fragile in Lego sets, but let's have bought something great today. Dominic, what have you got? The No Rev 143 scale General Lee and the kit, oh, from Knight Rider. Nice. I was having a little look at the new Mattel scales because they're not quite like 130. I think they're 125 and 150 or 160, something like that. Interesting to see they've not gone with the Speed Champion scales. Hello there, Riley. I also saw, what else did we see that Lego are doing? Something Lego are doing in the new year that someone else has come out with, another block company that has tried to get in there before Lego. A lot of Lego competitors, if they've not learned anything from Hasbro's attempt with Creo, just pay Lego to do it for you, and that's where the real money is. let's get up the tier. So 1 minute to go. Let's start ordering these figures. Does anyone have any favorites that they won't accept in? Well, I haven't even gone over the different ranks, have I, for the figures? We've got UCS up the top, the ultimate minifigures here. We've got, thank you very much, Man's Ideas. Nice profile. Yeah, Mega have done quite a few, haven't they? Making a speaker. Ah, a French diecast brand. I have heard about it. You might have mentioned it before on stream. Yes, the new Mattel Hot Wheels cars. I do want to get the green one. That would be nice. Hello there, Archer. But I'm yet to make any purchases. Seen a few of them on sale, but only like £1 off here and there in other stores. Thank you very much. UCS is the ultimate minifigures, the ultimate collector's series or the ultimate collector's set, and they are for minifigures that just can't be improved. I have a feeling that the Anzellen might be on Ultimate Collectors. I don't know if that works. Is the Anzellen an ultimate minifigure? We have Master Builders, which might not be perfect. You know, Ultimate is for top tier. Maybe Master Builders is missing like a little wrist accessory or something like that, but it's still, you wouldn't be disappointed to get it in a set. It's kind of like the aliens in the cantina. Yeah, sure, Greedo might have needed arm printing, but the Greedo minifigure already is pretty cool. 18 plus is then for that diorama level. We've got minifigures that you'd expect in dioramas in that 18 plus set with, you know, decent level of detail. Vader with the arm printing, for instance, and maybe 3PO with the arm printing, but missing that dual molded leg. 12 plus is just your regular set, bog standard minifigure, what you'd expect for Lego to put out. And then 4 plus is your, you know, missing a few things. I know 4 plus sets like the Mandalorian N1 at the start of the year with arm printing and the droid, which didn't have back printing. Maybe that puts it in a 12 plus set, but 4 plus is like 3PO without the dual molded leg and no printed arms after getting him in so many sets. Have I ever been to London? I have been. Yes, I do live in England, for those of you that might not know. And we recently went to Leicester Square just before October's release day. Didn't get to see the Death Star, but there was a lot of good sets on display. September had a ton coming out. We saw Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the Pirates in the Caribbean, Captain Jack's Black Sparrow pirate ship, mouthful of a name, and also there are a few, oh, and the Hogsmeade diorama as well. That was cool. Am I excited for the Droid Advent Calendar? You bet. I'm still waiting for it to go on sale. Haven't seen any sales quite yet, but the minifigures, let's push the Anzellen to the front. I tell you what, this Shock Trooper's gonna go at the back. I did have a list. Is there any order to these figures that like release schedule or maybe set? I think there's set number. The figures, yeah, so I've done it based on set number, starting off with the Clone Cadet. I'm going to default to 18 plus just so it's on screen. Where do we think the Clone Cadet should be? What was the Lego store in London like? So in London, great, like London, there's loads of Lego stores, and my favorite's actually Stratford because it's where I have the most memories, childhood memories and all that. But the Leicester Square one is still the second biggest store in the world, second to Sydney. It's amazing. I've just left my feedback actually. They give you a little code on the receipt to leave feedback, and I said that not only is it, you know, always packed with sets that you want, figures, everything. We didn't get all the Builder minifigures, but even a month later there were some there. But it feels like a museum, not quite a museum. They're not old sets, but it feels like it's an adventure. You go to London, and even I'm popping in the Lego store every single month, sometimes even more, just to see all the new sets on display. Sure, they have the UCS Death Star on display now. I think they were building it a couple of weeks ago, just missed out on that. And there is actually a chance to build Lego in the Leicester Square store, aside from the Build a Minifigure, Pick and Build, the F1 section. They have Build Your Biomes, you can build boats, there's just a PlayStation as well. station where you can play, not a video game, where you could just put bricks together, and now they have another stall where they'll crack open a set and build along with you for, I guess, as long as you want, or, you know, until the set is built. Only small sets. I can't remember what they had in store when we went, but it's a little station for mainly kids to be able to build a few sets, which is nice. Got pre-volleyball games got to go to. Oh, thanks, One with a Stud. Enjoy it. Volleyball. Nice. Haven't played much. Haven't really played any volleyball. Used to like netball though. They should do the needle tail jet from Sugar and Spice. So much that even Lego could do. All right, we've got the Clone Cadet here. We've got 18+ Master Builders. I think the dual molded legs and printed arms are pretty nice. Like, is it ultimate? I don't know if the Clone Cadet is old. I don't remember what I put as well. I don't remember where I put this character, but I agree, it's definitely Master Builders. Got the arm printing. I will say my 3 figures did have kind of misprinted arms. They weren't too big that they're worth millions, but there was a bit of white outside the black outline. Maybe that drops them a peg. If we're happy with Master Builders, let's see what the next figure was. I think Master Builders is going to be a popular category, that and 18+, because a lot of these figures, this isn't every single minifigure that come out this year. This is only the significantly new ones, not even like new Bricklink variants. These are the minifigures that stand out because they're different enough from the previous iterations that they needed a new minifigure. Some of them are new costumes. Some of these, like Django's got the UCS Django, not the playset one. The Commando droid is updated. The clone pilot has that new helmet. There are either changes that needed to be made, or, you know, they are brand new minifigures like this droid. Next up, we've got the Gingerbread 8080 in Gingerbread Vader. This is going to be really interesting because dependent how you feel about specialty sets, about Christmas sets or like Halloween and different minifigures, the sweaters for instance, really does depend where you'll be ranking Vader and the Christmas sweater Jawa as well. Django is UCS. It has to be. You can't see it because I've moved it. It used to be somewhere around here. Let's just slide this over for 1 sec. There we go. There we go. It did come in a UCS set. I think it makes sense to put Django in the UCS set. So let's grab Django straight up to UCS. Definitely, yeah. UCS and Master Builders, I feel like, have a lot of overlap. There's a lot of overlap, but what sets UCS aside is usually the characters have some sort of importance. And I think the Clone Cadet probably doesn't have as much, like it's not Django. It's a Clone Cadet. There's not even a named minifigure. It's just a Clone Cadet. So I think that's fair to be going in. And also, nice shout from Archer, Ahsoka UCS. I'm happy with that. I think it's a great minifigure. I don't think Ahsoka would have needed arm printing at this stage, so that's quite nice. But I've seen a load of people talking about, well, actually 2 figures. We recently upgraded the Commander Fox minifigure with the white torso rather than the pink one. And also, Fives is being bought up. Do we think that the Shock Trooper mech is going to be a, what, 2-pack of Fives and Fox? Could you imagine if both these minifigures are in the mech in January? That'd be nuts. But I would like to see another Fives, perhaps a... People are saying that Fives might be in a new set because the head was included in some sort of leak or something or other, and I heard about it on the grapevine. Not really sure why Fives is being brought back after the anniversary minifigure, which Lego themselves said they would never make in a set. But it'd be nice to see a Phase 1 Fives and a few other clone troopers coming out because we've got so many Legions. 501st, 2 top, 322nd now, Nova Corps. And I do think we're missing some of those Phase 1 clones. Fives isn't as much a clone I'd like, but if we could get a Phase 1 Jesse and, you know, Phase 1 clones with the heads that can be used on Phase 2 figures, especially ones that the armor probably already exists for. Maybe not Jesse, we do need a Jesse helmet, but I'd love to get some phase 1 named clone troopers, because otherwise phase 1s are all very similar, and that could be how Lego could give us more phase 1 clones. All right, Gingerbread Vader, are we happy with 18 plus, 12 plus? What's the rating on the set? The Gingerbread 8, I put in Lego G and it comes up automatically. That's how much I've been looking at this set. The rating on the set is 10 plus. And something that Vader doesn't have, that Vader normally does, is arm printing. Doesn't have any arm printing. They could have copied it over in white. You don't think they'll do phase 2 5s for a while, but phase 1 would be cool. Phase 1 would be cool, yeah. So fingers crossed for next year we get a phase 1 5s and some other phase 1 clones. I think next year could be the year of phase 1. We've got, what do we have? We have the 332nd and the Coruscant mech in January. They're both going to be phase, unless the Coruscant Guard is phase 1. That would be lovely, but I think they're both going to be phase 2, especially with the magazine coming out with the Coruscant Guard minifigure. First time we've got them in a magazine, because last time, well, I think this time they're clone shock troopers. Last time they were Coruscant Guards. Basically the same thing. 12 plus. All right, I can get behind that. I wonder if we'll get some phase 1s in the summer. A lot of sets in March, a lot of ships, maybe one in there. Maybe another clone pilot, that would be nice to see. But I would love some more phase 1s. Hello there, Keyrock. So the next minifigure, we're moving on to the Rebel U-Wing Starfighter, which consists of Andor. We've got K2SOs the same as the old one, so we're not including K2, but we should have Dedra Meero and the ISB agent. What do we think about these figs? I quite like Andor, but I've actually used Andor's torso and legs to create, and arms. I've used the Andor minifigure to create a custom Jyn Erso from Rogue One. I really like that torso. Yes, we are rating the brand new 2025 figs that have either like new variants. They're new for a reason. You know, we're not going over all of the new variants. I mean, Maul makes the list. That's questionable because that's the same figure as a while back, -1 print. But we are going over all of the newer minifigures. 12 plus for Andor. What about these other two? The ISB, the tactical ISB agent, I feel like is a regular trooper. I think 12 plus for the ISB agent. Yeah, the officer, 12 plus. All right. And then 18 plus for Dedra. Oh, because of the hair. Because of the hair coming out the hat. Lovely piece. And I saw, oh, I can't remember their name. There's someone on the platform that does a lot of dressing up for Star Wars at conventions, goes around, quite funny shorts that pop up. And one of their main costumes is an Imperial officer that actually, the resemblance in one of the minifigures from the UCS Death Star is uncanny. And it's a reuse of the hat with some different hair color underneath. They've used it a few times since, but I think this is just the default going forward. Can't wait to get, that's more of a like feminine hair at the back. I can't remember if it's a ponytail or what it is at the back, but I'd love to see another one. Just two variations that can mix and match throughout Imperials, all in the different hair colors. And can't really go any further from that. Next up, what do we think about, oh, where is he? Plo Koon. What do we think about Plo Koon? Now we know the legs aren't cracking. What's been my favorite Star Wars set this year? Oh, the Ahsoka Eater, which I still have on my desk, and we mocked it down to minifigure scale. Oh, wrong side. We mocked it down to minifigure scale, and I want to mock out that cockpit. See if we can switch that out. I think that was a great one. The UCS Slave one, that was cool. Actually, UCS AT-ST was very surprising as well. They're both still on display. The Gingerbread AT-AT, I haven't built the set, but we did build the Mando version. I feel like we built most of the sets from this year, so I'm not going to list them off. My favorite's the UCS Slave one. It's one of my favorite sets of all time. But that aside, I think I'd go with either Ahsoka's Eater, maybe the U-Wing. The U-wing was a surprise, but we had to modify the interior pretty heavy. So maybe Ahsoka Zeta. That was a good one. Needed arm printing for master builders. Ah, I see. With the Clone Wars, yes, because it come with the Clone Wars droid head, I think it did need arm printing to be on the same level. I've just noticed Dedra Master Builders and or 18. Let's fix that up. Dedra is a great figure. The fact that the cloak coming down the front of the legs, I will say Dedra, we'll say Master Builders, because there's only one thing Lego could have done better, and that's dual molded legs. That was it for Dedra. Dual molded legs, and that minifigure's right up top. For Andor could have had boots, but again, it's not gonna look much different. Plo needs that arm printing. Dual molded legs weren't a problem because the shades of brown were close, but that Clone Wars arm printing. Could have reused the arms from Windu. Do you think Lego would have got away with that? Using the arms from Windu, the recolor. I tell you what, whilst we're here as well, let's get a few more members gifted because it is a brand new month. First stream of October, and I can't remember how. There we go. There it is. We'll send 5 now and 5 at the end of the stream. Fingers crossed. Who's going to join the members actually on the brand new members board? Owen, welcome back. That is, I do believe we've got a few people returning here. Interesting. Owen, Never 12 for Lego as well. You've been a member before. I guess if you haven't been gifted, maybe you can still be gifted if you've had a membership. That blows what we said last stream out of the water. Thank you for the dono, Key Rock, getting the UCS Slave one for Christmas. It's not just the finished project, the finished design, but it's one of the best sets. No problem. Thank you very much for your dono. If you would like to become a member, you get your name on the brand new members board, because you know what, we'll come back to we'll come back to this board. Let's minimize it so you can check out the members, because we've officially run out of space on the Master Mouldie members Monolith. Check out, by the way, these tiles at the bottom. How cool do they look? What would be sick is if, I'm gonna have to search this now, if there was some sort of like opalescent 3D filament, 3D printer filament, because these are all designed with the names of the members of the channel, and we're out of space on the first board, so I will be building another one of these and eventually probably connecting them all and having them displayed somewhere on the wall. There's a bit of space that I can sneak them in, but we do have all of the new members from the last stream on the bottom, including making up the space down here. Lego is expensive. I completely understand. No worries. But yeah, shout out to all the members. I haven't counted still how many members we've got, because most of these are from this year. We started it last year, and by the start of this year we had the 3 rows, and our aim was to fill the board by Christmas. Here we are, over 2 months out, and I can't believe we've already filled it. So thank you all for your memberships. Again, most of these are paid for. Let's see if I can find... Oh look, Owen and Never Too Old for Lego right next to each other. I'm going to have to... I guess they've already got a tile, but if I do decide to put them back, I might have to do that again. That's quite cool. I think Dedra's there because the first use of the new mold. Yes. Yes, definitely. An exclusive head. Oh, let's have a little... I know Jyn Erso was the same. I'm pretty sure it was Jyn Erso that used the exclusive head, and then since it's been used on a few other figures, it is a good head. You might as well make the most of it. Is Dedra's... Yeah, it was exclusive to the character in May, and it still is to this day. I guess it's the cheek lines really that make it hard to apply to any other character. But Dedra as a minifigure is still completely exclusive. That hair colour on the hat hasn't been reused, and maybe it's the black hat. Maybe there's a grey one. But yeah, that is a good one. No problem. Good luck building your shelf. May the bricks be with you. Let's get that list back up. What was the next figure? I don't think I said. We had Plo Koon, which 18 plus, absolutely solid decision there. And then Ahsoka Tano, UCS, already done that. Let's go on to the Arc 170. We've got, where are the pilots? The three pilots, Oddball, Jag, and the unnamed pilot. But which one is which? Could have used it for Invisible Woman, but they chose not to. Huh. Yeah, I guess so. Where are we putting the pilots? And are they all the same? No dual molded legs? Couldn't really have printed arms. I think we did give dual molded arms and a little Republic logo when we made them custom. So I'm ruling out UCS for these. I don't think they're UCS. So whereabouts do they fall? Master Builders, 12 plus. They're not 4 plus because they do have quite a bit of detail. The named ones 18 plus, unnamed 12 plus. Let's see if I can remember. I'm going to take a stab in the dark and I'm going to say the red one is Jag. And I want to say the blue one is Oddball. But I also feel like that's just throwing me off. So we're going to go with the blue one being the unnamed. And I will verify that before we move on. But the next minifigure, so that you are ready, is going to be Boba Fett. Little Boba from the UCS Slave one, which was the debut of the minifigure. Right, the Arc 170. 7 Arc 170s we've got from Lego. That's crazy. Good crazy. Still crazy. A lot of them poly bags, like 3 proper sets and a few poly bags. I didn't put in R4P44, did I? I guess similar enough to the old droid, not much different there. We have, wait, they don't have names. They do have names. Oh, I got it wrong. I think I got it completely wrong. We got Oddball in black, Jag is in blue, and then the unnamed one is in red. Ha! Would you look at that? Oh well, we at least we got the names right. 12 plus, no difference from each set. Don't think it could have been better. Yeah, I think the hair as well. If the hair was the right color, it's dark brown, or a lot of people would have preferred like the Han Solo hairpiece on the young Boba, I think that would have given them a few brownie points. Maybe could have been 18 plus, but there's not much they could do from the character. There's no like dual molded legs, no arm printing, nothing else that they could have done. It's just a solid minifigure. None of these are bad, even 4 plus. 4 plus might be lacking a bit, but still good figs at the end of the day. Speaking of 4 plus, let's go with the 4 plus Mando. The R5D4, which technically has had a few minifigures in the past, but R5D4 is usually shared with, what's the other name? The R5D4, what do you mean doesn't exist? Had to put a space. The R5D4 minifigure is usually shared with R5D8, who is one that shows up later on in an X-Wing and very similar to the one that Trapper Wolf flies with. I did notice that in my Mando rewatch. Trapper Wolf has a very similar looking droid, and this is the first time R5D4 has been used exclusively for, well, for R5D4. I don't think we've had many droids reused, but because they look identical, usually there's not a point making a new character if you've got one, especially a droid. If you've got one that looks this good already, you might as well go with this one. And this is from Mando and Grogu's N1 Starfighter. Hopefully we see that in the movie. I still think, actually, to go on a little tangent about the N1, I think that we could not even see that in the movie. They might just not mention it all. I think they will probably destroy it at some point, but it'd be interesting if they didn't, and then the next season of Mando actually takes place in the run-up to the movie, because it would set the movie up so well. Star Wars is all about media res and getting straight into the action. If the Mando movie starts off right in the middle of something, and then we're left wondering, well, how have we got here? We were just, how, when, what, where's the N1? And then Mando season 4 kind of acts like Book of Boba Fett with the flashback starting it off. Mando Season 4 is the recap, prequel to the movie, but follows up between Season 3 and the movie. I don't think they would. I think it's too successful a show for them to experiment, try something new with that. But I did the droid just... I could have sworn I put the droid there. Did the droid just magnetically suction to 12 plus? Are we keeping it 12 plus? Next up is Darth Maul. Unless anyone else says otherwise, I guess it wants to be 12 plus. I think that could be really interesting for Mando though. Just picking up, you know, middle of nowhere. We would have no idea what to expect from the rest of the movie. Because right now, we're theorizing, a lot of us, even if I'm not making videos on the topic, I'm still very much thinking about what could happen in The Mandalorian. And I think if they started it off like that, my mind would just be blown. I wouldn't know what to expect. I would just be confused for the next 30 minutes till I finally get grips on what's happening. Darth Maul, I'm calling it 4 plus because it's the same minifigure as last time, missing one detail on the belt. And I think removing it from the minifigure, we've got to... It's a good minifigure. Maybe dual molded legs would make it master builders. They could also... No, they couldn't do printed arms. So maybe it's 18 plus. And then, because we don't have the dual molded legs, it goes down. And then they remove the belt. Let me know if you think any different to that. Bought a few majorette castings. Oh, now that's something I haven't heard of. I assume it's another brand though. Of diecast. I tell you that some of the Star Wars diecast models, especially the ones that debuted at Celebration, I would love to collect, but Lego's is expensive enough. Hello there, Ronan. Welcome to the stream. Nice of you to drop by. Next up, who we got after Maul? Ah, yes. The Death Trooper and Night Trooper battle pack. That would mean this Night Trooper here. I think I should have had like a middle ground to plop them in beforehand. We've got this Night Trooper and the Death Trooper, not the one with a clear helmet. That did debut last year in Ahsoka Tano's Duel on Peridia. But I think this minifigure kind of stands for them both. It's new. So I did expect the battle pack when I knew about the Death Troopers being the same. I expected first off to get the Death Trooper in the Advent. Thank you very much. And also to get the 2 of the other Night Troopers regular, or to get 2 brand new. So the fact that we got one of the ones from the duel and one new one for the battle pack, brownie points in my eyes. Be fine with them all being in 4 plus, because if you want that figure, get the magazine. Yes, the original Maul did come in a magazine, making it cheaper than the newer fig, and it's still pretty cheap to get online. I'll have a little look. Majorette is also a French diecast brand, later on bought by the Simba Dicky Toys group. Oh, a little merger going on there. Let's have a look. Darth Maul will set you back. The origin... Oh, there's so many Maul. Can we put Clone Wars Maul? Does that... We need to have descriptions of each version of Maul. That's one of them. Oh, there's a second... No, there's not a second page. Wait. Have Bricklink merged them together? Oh, there's a different variation. All right. At least I saw that. So the original Darth Maul is starting at a couple of quid, but what's it selling for? Last 6 months, selling for about £5. £5 new, £4 used. That's pretty good. Whereas the newer one is selling for about £7 new, used. Doesn't matter. It's not selling very well. Only, oh wait, hold on, 75 of them have sold. I feel like that's not bad. 75 in the past 6 months, but the older Maul has nearly 500 sold in the past 6 months. Selling really well with that new mech coming out. The parts of the mech are really easy to piece together, fairly cheap to do so. I don't think, let's have a look then on Brickout. I like using Brickout. Better interface, and also it tells you how much the pieces have sold for individually if you are looking at pine out sets. So Maul's mech has sold for, the cheapest is 1848. Oh wow, that's not bad. Wait, the cost of them right now is 11.30. I guess no one's bought it. No one's bought it recently, but it has sold for £20. Yeah, you pick it up for like £11. That's about the price of the set at the minute. 2 for 20 at Argos here in the UK. And what were we saying? The Night Troopers, yes. Also owns Jada. Jada. That's one I have heard. Yes, I have. Did a few like Flintstone. I saw, actually it was Jada that I think I saw when we went to that store recently, the big like vintage merch store, and they had the Flintstones and the Only Fools and Horses die cast. I think they were both Jada. You have to go watch the video and double check that, but I've heard of them. So they're kind of monopolizing it. It is kind of like a monopoly of diecast companies. You have all of them around the board, and they're slowly working their way up. Hopefully it doesn't make it too much expensive though, which is something I do think monopolies in terms of multiple companies doesn't make it expensive, because fizzy drinks, makeup companies as well. A lot of the bigger companies, Coca-Cola, L'Oreal, will own other companies, and I feel like the prices for them, for those products, aren't rising as high as something like Lego, that does have the monopoly of the board because no one else is really trying it up until this year. So hopefully the occupation of companies as opposed to the merger is keeping them fairly cheap. I don't think diecast, I mean, they're always going to be expensive because they're more than like toy models. They're the detail that goes into diecast models isn't cheap. But I do wonder if wow, they own like 6 different companies. I wonder if that's keeping them affordable, because so much of the profits they skim a little off the top of all 6 companies, and that's a lot more than if they were just increasing how much they were charging. So hopefully they're staying affordable. Next figures, the Troopers. I think if we put the ISB Tactical Agent in, we have to put the Night Troopers with them. Let me know if you think like the Death Troopers should get some brownie points. I know a lot of you really love the Death Troopers, but it is a Night Death Trooper. I think they're in a similar boat. Hello there, super cool renders. Yes, we're ranking all the new minifigures from 2025 in the Lego Star Wars theme. So any minifigure that's got like notable changes, Luke's legs for instance, or the Asajj costume, we have added. But any of the little ones, Yularen has got a poly bag, no dual molded legs on the new one. We're not counting him, even though he comes in the UCS Death Star. RC Lightning McQueen. I'd love to get I think the Smart Brick for Lego next year has some really nice, what it could be used for. And if Lego do pursue this sort of technological side of brick building, which I think they've tried before, hopefully they succeed with a Smart Brick, we could end up getting like RC Lego sets, which is exciting. If they could have some remote control, like radio control, they don't even need a remote. Lego could just make an app and allow us to control it, just like all the other projects that they've got. There's a few radio controlled Lego sets out there, a lot of the trains especially. And if we could have that for Lightning McQueen, maybe some of the Technic cars would be a bit stronger to hold it up against bumping against walls and, sofas and the likes. I remember crashing a RC car a few times, but as a Lego set, that would just make me want to pick up a set a lot more than, parting it out. I have a ton of pieces in my collection. I admit most of the Lego I build is mocks, but most of it is also parted out, even the official sets, because it's so expensive. Sometimes to afford the expensive sets, you got to be saving money, cutting corners, and something like the remote control, the radio control mechanism would make you pick up the sets. So a bit like printing. If I ever watch Lego Masters, I have. I watched, I can't remember what season it was. I watched it because the voice of Batman, the voice of Lego Batman was in it. There was an episode where they made RC cars. I haven't seen that episode though. Oh, let me make a note of that. I have to see, because Lego Masters, I think, I don't know if it's official, but I think all the episodes are up on YouTube. So, oh, just Googling it, I've got two different, yeah, the young master builder creates incredible RC car. I don't know if that's to do with Lego Masters though. I think that's just a news story, but I'll have a little look into that. Thank you. That's the one. Well, yes, good Lego Batman as well. Right, the next minifigures are from the Lego Republic Juggernaut. No matter what you think of the set, and it's pretty expensive price point. That's something that the Death Star doesn't have. Well, no, $1,000 and £900 is a lot, but compared to how much it's worth, the fact that you could part out the Juggernaut for 80 quid or buy it brand new, even I think the parts were used for 80 quid, probably a bit more new, but buy it for 140, £60 for those figures. Let's see how good they are. What do you think? The two figures that came in the Juggernaut are Bakara. Kiadimundi's kind of the same. I think the leg printing is a bit shorter, wider. It goes one way or another. I think actually the torso as well, there's probably a bigger gap. But the two new figures are Bakara, which is a named clone, and Galactic Marines. I have fond memories of Galactic Marines. I have one in my collection, despite the fact I have bidded on so many custom Galactic Marines, and they've been selling for like £20+, which is above my maximum bid, and I only managed to walk away with one of them. Just one of them. What do we think? Where are these going? Bakara. I do think Bakara is a great named figure. Exactly. I was not paying more than 20. I think the one that I won was probably even like single digits, 8-9 quid. I don't remember what I paid for it now, but it was a lot more than I should have. 350 for a CMF. We need a clone trooper CMF. But yes, everyone's well, I say everyone. A lot of people are paying so much for Nova Corps specifically. Now they've got Lego figures. I don't think we'll see a battle pack. It'll kind of be like the 2/12th and the 3/27th. They'll keep them in the big set, but I would love to see someone make them for a lot cheaper. They're going for, let's see what they're going for. Republic Juggernaut, and no, that's what the Republic Juggernaut's going for. Republic Juggernaut's going for as little as £26. That's probably with figures removed, but even figures, let's have a little look. Where's the 20? Oh, that's what it sold for previously. Cheapest at the minute is 40 quid. That's without minifigures, no accessories, no box, no stickers, no instructions. That's still £80 of parts for half price. And that's half price compared to the used market as well. That's not half price to Lego. That's like quarter price, maybe a bit less to Lego. So we've got Bakara up first. Have to go pretty high. They are pretty good minifigures. I think also something to note with these is they do have brand new helmets, the both of them. Even though it's basically the Snowtrooper helmet, the helmet for the Nova Corps is dual molded, which the Snowtroopers isn't. So it is a brand new helmet. Yeah, the parts cost them half to make. Yeah. Plastic isn't expensive. It's always the process behind it. Dual molding the helmet increased the price for this figure, and the new helmet, Bakara they could use. I think Bakara's helmet probably gets away. Oh, does Bakara's helmet kind of gets away with being a phase 1 snow clone as well? They'd have to fix up the visor, but you get some Rex head printing on there. I'll have to rewatch the episode. I feel like Rex's and the phase 1 snow clones will be closer to the Snowtrooper. Maybe Bakara's head could be used elsewhere, but Bakara is selling. Ooh, that's not bad actually. Used £30, new £30, up to 45 new, but sold 290 times on Bricklink. I don't think Brick Owl give how many times it's been sold. No, it does. Well, I can't find it. How many times it's been. Oh, price history. Oh, it does. Wait, is price history basically just the summary I've been looking at with the details. Okay, where's previous? So in the last 6 months, 8 new have been sold, no use. So 298 of them have been sold in total, and the average price is still about 25 quid. The highest on Brick, even the highest new one linked on Brickout is only £37. So not too much, but still, you know, 37, 25 plus pounds for one figure is pretty good. So I'm all right. We have the dock points. It's not the UCS. There's no karma. It does get docked at least one. I don't know if Master Builders would have a karma. Master Builders, we've got Bespin, the Endor Village. Yeah, Endor Village layer did come with the dress piece, which I think Lego should actually use for the A New Hope layer. I've been saying that a lot recently, and I think because of the lack of karma, maybe both of them would have to go 18 plus. But then it does seem like a little disservice having them. The karma is the skirt that goes around the clones. You can see there's a little bit of printing on either side of the legs, if you can see. Hopefully you're on a mobile device and can just pinch the screen, zoom right in and take a look at those karmas, or the lack thereof. But I think it's not even about a material karma. I think dual molded legs, because the Nova Corp and Bakara both have the dark red, I think having the dark red top half of the legs and the white bottom half would have just done fine. We've seen a lot of red shorts, but can't zoom in. Oh no. Maybe it's only specific to, maybe you can't on a live stream. I haven't even thought of that. Let's see, can we open them? No, we can't open it. Oh no, can we? No, we can't open in a new tab. What I could do is get the official Lego images up. That'll be the easiest. The next minifigures, for those of you that are sure these are 18 plus, is the Force Burner. So we're looking at Sig and Solitas, but we'll get to those in just a second. 75413. There we go. So the karmas on minifigures are these accessories just around the hips. Let's zoom right in. You can see where the dark red line is, and then it just stops. That's the entire skirt piece of these figures, and I think we have to dock them for that. I do think dual molded legs, even for the grey. Maybe we needed grey dual molded legs, and a material karma, which is the little skirt, or a plastic one. Lego could bring back the plastic ones. Right now on my store, I'm working at making them in different colours. I have links for karmas in various colours, and they work with figures. You can bend the legs same size as they appear on the print, and they go around the hips as well, rather than just being the dual molded legs. I guess you'd then need to print white on dark red hips. Lego's printing is good, but I bet it's really expensive. They probably just double the coats. So karmas, pauldrons are a little problem for them. I think the biggest problem with it is the inconsistency. A lot of minifigures do have karmas or accessories, pauldrons and the likes, and the fact that some minifigures don't, I think, just is a bit worse because of the ones that do. Or what you don't understand about the karmas, if they're going to print them to all the legs, yeah, it makes sense to go the whole way around, especially because dual molded legs at the back. I don't know if you've ever paid attention. Which dual molded legs do I have nearby? Who has? Oh, I tell you who has dual molded legs. Thrawn. Grand Admiral Thrawn has dual molded legs, and on the back you can see the boots go in like this rounded off motion around the stud, and I think that's perfect for the karmas, because the karma would be the white bit, and it creates that little bump at the back that then goes over the legs. It looks a bit natural. It does look a bit more natural, And when I do get my hands, actually, no excuse I can't already do it to some figures like Fox. Part 2 of Improving Clone Troopers coming very soon. But, you know, painting it only goes so far. We really do need the dual molded legs. And as soon as we hit the target on the store of however many thousands it is for a UV printer, I will be trying to get my hands on some dual molded legs. I think the biggest problem right now for Lego is the fact that they don't have too many combinations of dual molded legs. A lot of the black boots and like white legs, black boots, grey legs, black boots, dark grey legs, black boots, tan legs, brown boots, and not much, well, I guess like silver leg for 3PO, and there's a few other combinations that I'm missing that I'm sure right in front of me, like Han Solo's blue, dark blue legs with the black boots, but not a lot of different colors, like white boots that would go really well for clones. Probably says a lot about your budget that you've never had a minifigure with dual molded legs. I think Thrawn's the cheapest one, and that was like a £60 set. There has been 10. There has been 10. This Hot Tub Trooper is the 10th minifigure in Star Wars to come with dual molded legs, and that's behind $1,000 budget. So, well, that's not a budget. That's just for the one set. Crazy picking that up. Though, I think if you sold all the minifigures, there was an article I saw, probably Brick Fanatics. If you sold all the minifigures from the Death Star, you make half of the money back. Surely that's not right. Surely you should make a bit more than half of it back. I feel like the parts are worth maybe 1.2 grand, maybe somewhere around that ballpark. But yeah, I feel like $500 for those minifigures is a lot of money. So many of them are common minifigures, the Imperials especially, but yeah, it doesn't sound right for $1,000 set. You sometimes design Lego minifigures. Oh, it's one of the funnest parts about designing Lego sets is getting around to the figures. I've been working on a few for months and good progress is being made. I'm not going to leak anything now, but yes, it's moving along swiftly. The math doesn't math. It doesn't. It doesn't. I have a degree in maths. I've sat down, worked it out, and trying to apply my degree to make it worth all the thousands I've spent on that. The Death Stars I could have bought with that money. Totally worth it. But the cost behind Lego doing it, I think it's a protection cost. I think, especially in the Juggernaut, what we're paying is for the dual molded helmet. It's not going to be used on another clone. Bakara's helmet likely isn't going to be used either. You've got the new print for Ki-Adi-Mundi, which brings back that head mold after nearly 10 years. And it's a protection cost of, if this set fails, we would have still made enough money. Kind of like with Netflix, for instance, with how they're increasing prices because their audience is slowly dropping. The problem with it being, a lot of companies don't realize, if you increase prices because less people are buying, less people are going to buy, and prices are going to go up. Less people are... It's just a downward spiral. They need to take a hit at some point to bounce back. And I feel like the Juggernaut was the place. The Juggernaut was the place to, you know, for £140, even if Lego just stepped back and went, all right, the Juggernaut itself is only worth £80. I know, I built it before the set come out and got pretty bang on with without the instructions as well. They needed to drop this at least to 120. They did it with Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime was where? All right, let's bring that over here. Optimus Prime. What was the original? It doesn't really help me if I don't know the original price of Optimus Prime. For the Lego set, this is the Lego Optimus Prime. Was, yeah, so it launched as, apparently it launched as £170. I remember it launching as £180. Maybe that's just an exaggeration. And then by the time it had come out, I think it went up for pre-order, £170 and dropped to £160 because it was a bit too expensive. Lego took the hit, that's fair enough. And the same should have been done with a Juggernaut. I feel like £140 was a lot. They drop it to 120. And that's a little better. Hello there, the boy industry. Welcome. They're Lego, they've already got enough money. They do. They still want to make a profit because Lego takes so much of a cut, and like Star Wars are just absorbing so much to go towards the Lego logo, the Star Wars logo as a company, that they're still trying to pay designers, and the more people that work on a set, the more people have to be paid. So I'd rather companies pay people for their work than try to skimp out on it and, you know, just absorb. They're not taking any less of a cut at the end of the day. So it's nice that the people were paid. I just think they could have taken the hit their end, at least dropped it to 120. If not, being completely honest, the Juggernaut, a lot of sets are expensive. The UCS Death Star is expensive, but not a load of sets are overpriced. I think there's a big difference to like between overpriced and expensive. UCS sets are expensive. A lot of the value is there. Even in the parts, the Death Star is worth more than $1,000 without the minifigures. And that's without adding the dome. That is a good point. We don't actually know Lego. We're sort of taking Lego on their word that they pay everyone fairly. And thankfully, in this day and age, it's harder to get away with stuff like that. Especially, I don't know about over in America, but especially in Europe, a lot of the receipts are available to an extent. Obviously, you can't just work out what everyone's being paid, but it's a lot easier to see if people aren't being paid fairly. And in companies, it's also like people do talk about what they're being paid, not as often as they should. I feel like it is still quite taboo, but if someone's not being paid a lot, you'll hear about it, especially for a company at Lego making so much, making as much as they do. But the Juggernaut, with its parts worth 80 quid, 90 quid, 90 quid tops, really the set should have cost, because every other set in the theme was worth like the Slave one. The Slave one that I no longer have built, that's the UCS one. The playset Slave one that came out for £60 was worth over £180. I think it was nearly £200 it was worth before it hit shelves. So that makes sense. £60 is a really good deal. The Juggernaut was worth £80, minifigures aside, before it hit shelves. And we've just looked at the... Which one did we look at? I think we had a little look at Bakara, which was worth 25 quid. All right, that's 105. And then we've got 3 of the Nova Core worth 10, 15 pound. So 15, 45. That is 150 pound for a 140 pound set. Why would you pick up the set? You might as well just buy the minifigures, especially if you've got Ki-Adi-Mundi. Ki-Adi-Mundi might be worth just a little bit more. Let's double check that. If Ki-Adi-Mundi's worth like £100, and they've got to be selling as well. It's what they're, no, £9. Okay, Ki-Adi-Mundi doesn't affect it too much. Probably just rounds off some of the other numbers. And like I say, the headpiece was already available. So that's one of the exclusive parts to the minifigure. I do think the Juggernaut is one of the only overpriced sets Lego have come out with. Like, overpriced sets in the last decade. I don't think there's any other set that can, like, before the Juggernaut there were sets that were this overpriced, but when the Juggernaut, let's set this as the bottom bar, use the screen to its advantage. That's how expensive those sets were. And then when the Juggernaut came out, in comparison, like it just shrunk any other overpriced set. I do think, shout out Scotland. Yes, I do think the Juggernaut was a bit too much. It felt like we were being taken advantage of. That's one of the only times it's felt that way from Lego. I've just at the start of this stream unpacked my like 4th replacement brick parts from the last couple of weeks, because you know Lego do send out parts if they break. Lego aren't making you repay £140 for a set, but I think that initial price was way too much. That being said, onto Sid Greeblin and that exclusive orange lightsaber bar. I need to pick it up. I do. I know we were just talking about Lego being expensive and that, but the bar, the collection, the lightsaber collection is missing 1 bar thanks to that set. Oh, that was Groove Cargo's torso, and that is the new orange. I've got the old, oh, Got the old neon orange here. I need that new orange. What about the Ayla Secura and Star Trooper Battle Pack set? That's a good point, because they're in the same boat, you'd think. But it's the colour. The dark blue colour is on the aftermarket. I am going off aftermarket prices. I do think both of them should have really been 120. Not too different to the ATTE, are they? Maybe a few more pieces, but not enough to be 140. 125 tops. And the MTT, how much? Now that the sets come out, usually they're worth quite a bit less. So I'm not sure if the Juggernaut's still worth 80 quid. Let's have a little look at that. Juggernaut's worth 78. It's slowly dropping. And the longer these parts are out, I think the sand blue plates are in that. And this is including the minifigures. No, it's not including the minifigures. Including the minifigures is £120. That's used condition, but £120 for 99%. I think that's not including the sticker sheet. The sticker sheet never is included in the used. So if you're on Brickout and you're having a little look at the price for the used parts, it says 99%. Usually the sticker sheet is the 1% that it's missing, or the point something percent. Loads of parts in here. 768 parts and 8 minifigures, £119.98. Why would you buy it through Lego? I mean, no, I do get why you'd buy it through Lego. It's the experience of opening the box and not having to sort out the bags because there's so many bags in the set. But is that really worth £20 more than the stuff inside? I can't say it is. So £120 is the cost of all the parts for the Republic Juggernaut on Brickout right now. If you are looking at that set and don't want to spend the money, and maybe you don't even mind about the minifigures, you can drop that down to 70 odd percent. The MTT, let's have a little look. The MTT is valued at £240 new, and oh, this is missing some parts. Without the figures, £136. Oh, that's just below the 140 asking price. That's I don't know if it says something about you. You never pay over £40 for a set. Where do we get that number from? That's what I say for so many things. I've spent more than £40 on a set a lot of the time. But where did I get £40 from? Because that's my mentality for so many things. And like everything else, if I can get it for under £40, why would I spend over? £40 is just a solid price point. I use that for so many things. If only I could apply it to Lego. We'll have to, come January, I feel like spending £40 on Lego would be good, but then I already want the battle pack in January, and that's half the price. Whereas if I go into Smith's right now, I know I can get, there's the, who is it that has the Rex Microfighter for like £8? Smiths also have a Lego City Sports Car for £7, so I can get like 5 different sets for that. Usually would be 20, but Lego's expensive. I usually go around £40 and not spend over that. We must have got the number from somewhere, mustn't we? What you don't understand, Ayla Secura Star Trooper Battle Pack. So the actual minifigures, Ayla Secura is not here because it's the same as any other figure. I'm a bit biased. I would have ranked her high. I don't have an Ayla Secura minifigure, but if you do have Ayla Secura, likewise, if you have Ki-Adi-Mundi, they're probably going to be quite low because I don't think there's much that's been changed since we last had them. And the minifigures, so yeah, all in all, £240 for the MTT. Even if you want it new, the the Republic Juggernaut, I'd love to see a new Republic Juggernaut, is just breaking 200. £219.32. And how many have actually sold? Oh, okay. 10 MTTs have sold. No. Total amounts, 42. 10 lots, but 42 sets. I guess everyone's buying sets and trying to like stock up on a load of them. And 52 Juggernauts. More Juggernauts, less lots. And the Juggernauts have reached £1,000 on Brick Owl. That feels crazy. That does feel crazy. But the MTT had the technical debut of the... I think the MTT has the debut. Does it? Or is it the Battle Pack? It might be... It's the Battle Pack. Oh, the Battle Pack had the debut of the new Pauldrons. Oh, okay, that doesn't fare well for Bly. But the Battle Pack also has the same accessory as Django. So I feel like... Alright, they've got some nice accessories, but no Karmas and no dual molded legs. I think it's the same as the Galactic Marines. Are we taking into consideration the price? Because if we take into consideration the price, I think the Battle Pack goes 12 plus. And... no, sorry. The Battle Pack goes 4 plus and Bly goes 12 plus. I quite like the Bly minifigure. 18 plus, 12 plus, I'd be happy with. The MTT build is pretty cool as well, just because there's a lot of exclusive parts in that set. But the Battle Pack, it's not worth £45. How much is the Battle Pack? I don't remember the number. The Lego 327 Star Corps Clone Trooper Battle Pack. Already I'm seeing £32 on Amazon. That's only £3 off, really, but you know, that's looking good considering the set is two months old. August, September, October. It's 2 months old and it's £3. Oh, £32.99 now I've clicked into it. £2, 1 pence off. So to get the Battle Pack at £25, we'll only have to wait another 8 months, right? That's £1 a month. 8 months, and that gets us the Battle Pack in June. £25 Battle Pack in June next year. I can wait. Honestly, I don't have the MTT. It'd be different if I picked up the MTT. I can wait for the Battle Pack. Bump both up by 1. All right, I can get behind that. I guess the minifigure isn't as bad as 4 plus. Yeah, that's your rent in the next 2 years. Hello there, George. Welcome. If Bly had arm printing like Rex, oh yes, that would have been. Has anyone done a custom Bly? I know companies have done a custom Bly, but has anyone added arm printing to the official Lego one yet? Because there are probably a few companies that sell. There's so many custom Blys that have arm printing. Oh, I do have a custom Bly. I could just nick the arms off that one. Yeah, that's a good point. Or that trooper that... Oh, I could actually nick the arms off Bly for a Bly minifigure. And then the Fallen Order trooper, the yellow torso with the grey bottom of the helmet, I could use that for the regular 327th. That would be nice. Next up, we have... The next up in lists, in numbers, we didn't do SIG, no. I like the Orange Saber. What do we think about the SIG and the Solitos figure? I want to say Solitos bugged me in the show. Solitos, great character, both from Rebuild the Galaxy, fun little Lego show that just come out with a second season, almost a month ago now. Solitos bugged me that everyone in the original Solitos verse only had torso printing because that's how minifigures were made back in the day, and they gave Solitos leg printing, which didn't add up to his story. Solitos was meant to be from... Maybe Solitos was from a previous one. Thank you very much, George. Maybe Solitos was from a previous multiverse that had leg printing beforehand. I don't know how they would have worked that, but that bugged me. Just that little detail, leg printing. Could have given us just plain legs, gotten away with it, and they over-detailed the minifigure. One of those things, isn't it? Sig Griebel as well with the saber. Nice robes, not really applicable to any other Jedi. Kind of similar to Plo Koon. Maybe could be used for like a custom kit Fisto or something like that. Other brown robes, they are exclusive elements. Sig Grieblin, and also Solitos's first name was Pab. It was Pick a Brick, not Pick and Build. It was Pick a Brick. So the online service Yeah, all the parts, oh, the hairpiece wasn't, but all the other parts for SIG are exclusive. I guess that's not bad. Kind of wish the hip piece. Let me bring this up. All right, these are the elements. These are the elements for SIG. And you can see the hip piece here has some dark tan printing on it. Well, that dark tan printing also should be on the hip. And I don't know why Lego aren't printing. I don't think they've printed the front of the hip for ages. I know there's a few minifigures, old figures that have had it. Mostly CMFs. Oh, Luke. Luke had a line printed across, but they tend not to print the middle piece. And I wonder if it would have been better just to use dark tan and then print it on the brown instead. And then given us dual molded legs. Oh, they would have needed dual molded legs. It would have looked weird. It would have looked like a belt otherwise. Oh, interesting. Don't know if it's money paid for the details. Yeah. Or did they add more details so that they could do extra work and get paid more for doing it? Don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but you know the 501st Battle Pack? Imagine the Specialist Pack had the Jet Trooper instead of a regular clone. I want that Battle Pack for all the others. You know what? That's a battle pack. No duplicate minifigures. You've got the Heavy / Assault. No, not the Heavy / Assault. Which was it? Was it the Specialist? That one of them could have been used as I think it was the Heavy. The Heavy had, let me look at my figs. We have the Specialist, the Officer. I think it was the Specialist could have been. I guess we could just get a regular. The Specialist is a regular clone with coloured arms. I know it has two little markings for the 501st, but not everyone would do that. So we could get the Specialist, which could be converted into a regular one. You only need 1 or 2 sharpshooters and a whole herd of assaults. Heavies, maybe officers. Officers, all right. All right, let me clear my mind here. I think, let's bring this up. The next minifigures for those that wanna are the Advent ones. So the first 4 in the images. I think the perfect battle pack, working on what Archer said in chat, is a Specialist with a modified belt. Think Batman minifigure belt on the figure, separate to the printing, so that can be changed up and removed for a regular one. Similar thing for the Specialist with coloured arms that then can be swapped out. Even with the markings, that'd be all right. And then Heavy Trooper and Jet Trooper. Those 4 figures, I think we should get droids with it. I don't mind paying £25 if we get maybe even 4 droids. Maybe even like 3 B1s and 2 B2s. Making sure droids are outnumbering, even if a few of them break over time. And then the builds, you know, clone battle packs, ATRTs, maybe Bark Speeders. Don't go too hard on the builds. We're getting a load of minifigures, keeping that price down, £25 rather than 35. If we're going 35, give us ATRT, a Bark, and maybe a little side build as well. But I'd be down for that sort of battle pack. So that rather than getting 2 heavies in a battle pack, we're getting more figures and we can just order more. If you want 2 heavies, buy 2 sets. It's the same that Lego use for other sets. If you want 2 of them, buy 2. So I think that would work for battle packs. And that could rebirth army building. That'd be a cool way to bring that back. Ranking going along the 4 advent calendars. Master builders for BB-8. All right, I'm liking that. I quite like this one. I think I got the older BB-8. No, I don't know if I've got the surfboard. I might do. It might be a different color. I might have got it off BAM or something. But I remember the BB-8 that came with a Santa hat and the surfboard, the snowboard. That was a cool one. Getting the snowy BB-8 is a figure we're never going to see again. It's sort of the figure that could work in a future Star Wars Christmas set. Do we get... I don't think we've got any snowy Star Wars figs in Christmas sets besides the Advent, but it's a great fig to get in the Advent. UCS, we've got 12 plus for Jawa. Hello there, Moon Shoes. Welcome. 12 plus. It's a Christmas sweater. Does take away the print of the Jawa. The only Jawa element is the head. I think for the Jawas, I have switched out a few of my hoods for the Jedi robe hoods, which are slightly darker than this brown. But I think we should see the new hoods with the Jawas. They work because they got the clasp, not with the jumper they don't. But I would like to see the new hoods, the new Lego hoods with the Jawas. Maybe even a recolor of that Spider-Ghost or Miles Morales Spider-Man hood for the Jawas. Because I don't feel like Jawas are too, you know, over the front. None of this shaping at the front. It's just straight up a hood. C3PO. Where are you putting C3PO? 4+? Yep, I think 4+ is only right. We docked Maul for the torso detail. 3PO has a little silver printing on that gold leg. That's an inaccuracy. We're going to have to dock it down to 4+. Though the head's cool, we did see it on the Dark Falcon and UCS. Oh, Master Builders for BB-8 and UCS for Babu Frick seem to be in agreement. Babu Frick looks so cool. I still want a battle pack. I want a battle pack of them. And if I don't get a battle pack, I might have to pick up a few more advents. It's more of a hoodie hood. Yeah, I kind of want the cross between. I want a hoodie hood that sticks out a bit more. Just maybe a hoodie hood with an extra layer of plastic on the front. Because I feel like the Jawas, because they're using a black head, they don't need to put it so far in. Maybe it would look weird if the hood didn't stick out as much. But the Jedi one is definitely a good hairpiece or head accessory. The same one as Emperor Palpatine uses, you know. The Sith hood is a great one for the Jawas in a reddish brown. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. Should we move on to the Death Star figures? We don't have too many other sets left. Let's run Death Star. Let's run it more or less in this order, actually. Let's run Death Star V19. We missed the Commando droid of the MTT. We can always come back to that. And the Kaminoan, actually. And then we'll wrap up with the Clone Trooper to finish it off. We want to speak a bit about that in the January sets towards the end. So, Death Star. Kenobi. Kenobi's big thing is the dual-sided face print, never seen before in a figure, and also legs. We haven't, for an A New Hope Kenobi, got printed legs without the robe. Did we get printed legs with the robe, or was it plain legs? We have got printed legs with the robe, so they've just removed the robe print in. I prefer the cape to the printed robe. And I know a few of you agree. It's kind of an unpopular opinion, I guess, whether you prefer the printed robes or the cape. I prefer the cape. What if they print on a brown head for the Jawas, like Captain America, to give it that layered feel? Oh, they print on a brown head, like with Captain America's blue head? Or if, well, they could print on, yeah, I guess so, because then it makes it seem like it's further back in. I'm so used to the Jawa head, I didn't even think of that. UCS, because it's the best we're going to get for Obi-Wan, yes. Yeah, well, I'm not sure if it's the best. I would love a Force Ghost Kenobi. I think that would be pretty good, but it's the best for this version. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the robes. Kenobi is robed in this image with the cape. It's the Lego style of building, and I like that. It's like the classic Kenobi, and they've just turned everything up to 100. Blue head for Cap or the red head for Flash. Yeah, a bit like that. They could do it because the Jawas are a bit smaller, so maybe the hood's too big. It's a bit like the Ewoks. I'm looking at the Wicket minifigure, and they've got a molded head, but they don't really need the molded head. The Jawas are a little smaller in comparison because they've got bigger bodies. Maybe a regular head works, and then they can print the, oh, I tell you what would go good. Actually, what if, no, that still keeps the hood. What if we got the hood and then they printed a black outline on a kind of black facing Jawas here? This is not a good line of thought, but what if they printed the black outline on a transparent yellow head? Maybe down the line we could even get a little LED in it so it can glow. We can have these Jawa eyes piercing yellow right across the room, or red for the off-world Jawas. That would be a nice build. I'm gonna have to start destroying minifigures and putting lights and sounds in them. I like this thought. For the Death Star, we got a load of Imperials. we've got, oh, which one's Motti and which one's Targ? Or how do you pronounce the name? Is there a pronunciation? No, there's no pronunciation on Google. I think the first one's Motti. It feels right because that's how I probably would have ordered them. Still using the mole's hood in brown and a brown head-like cap. Yeah, I guess that's the perfect, that's what I'm going for. Brown hood, brown head. I have to take note of that at a few because my Jawa collection, I think there's one Jawa that I've nabbed the head for. Why would, oh, yes. Yes, I did take the head for the Christmas sweater Jawa. When I get the actual advent calendar, I guess I can return the head. I don't need two sweaters. And I will be picking up the advent, even though I have the advent figure, which is nice. They've got different detailing on the front and back, but still, it's an advent figure. You know, the Jawa was a nice surprise. I just think there's a few other named characters we could get. We don't have a Padme, Kenobi, Ahsoka, and Ahsoka would have been great. The Jawa ties in with the droids. I don't want to replace the figure. There's just a few things that could be changed. Motti, Targ, Krennic. Krennic as well is a good minifigure to get. It's one of those bonus figures, but right colour? Oh, go ahead, Archer. Ask away. I think Galen is definitely not UCS because of the colour. Oh, and also no boots. No boots on any of these Imperials. We'll save the best one till last. Oh, Luke. Luke as well. She got up there with Kenobi. I think Luke could have... Oh, Luke doesn't wear a poncho. I don't think Luke could have been much different. I'm not sure if it's UCS, though. It feels more Master Builder series. Luke does, at least. I don't really know why. I quite like it. Alongside Kenobi, I quite like the fact that they've brought back the original versions of the character and just improved them as much as they can. But Luke could have had dual molded legs because his giant shirt does go all the way around. Say, similar deal to Dedra, I guess, with the jacket. So they could have had that one improvement, but Luke doesn't have an exclusive hairpiece. But Luke isn't missing like a poncho or anything. Oh, it's between there. You'll have to let me know exactly where you'd put Luke. The Imperials are a similar boat to the clones, though, without the leg. I'd say even to the... They're named. They are named, following what we said about the clones. They are named. Let's whack them in 18 plus for now, just so we can get to thinking about Sim Alu. Since I made the buildable weapons for the Avengers, can I try to make a good glider for Green Goblin? Because you got the green and purple one from the magazine and mocked it, but not real happy. Yes, I can. Let me make note. That's a good idea. We've done weapons, but we haven't even done it for Spider-Man. Luke stays there. Luke stays in MBS. All right. Hopefully that was where Luke was on your screen. I feel like the Imperials are quite cool. I kind of want to put Motti and Targ on the same level as they're both in grey. Needed boots. Even Galen Arso needed those boots. It's these minifigures could have come out nearly 20 years ago. Nearly 20 years ago, because they're just the printed torso and the head and hair. There's nothing special about them. I feel like 18 plus would miss out the dual molded legs and would probably include like a few of these in the conference. That'd be a nice set. Hello there, Fernando. Sim Alu is 12 plus, going by the Clone 1 new mold. Not too much effort. Oh, good point. Yep, new mold for the hat, which is nice, but no printing on the dress piece. I think also they could have lessened the detail on this fig so that you could just get 4 of these and that would be the 5 of them. And that would be the entire crew for Return of the Jedi. Hello there, Fernando. We are ranking all the new minifigures from 2025. And chat has final say. If you think a character should go in a certain slot, you let me know and it will be locked in. I'll be unable to change it. we are coming up to the final few sets. We've got the droid, which shows up in the background of one of the scenes with Kenobi in. I can't remember where this is now. It's one of the scenes where Kenobi's walking past, the droid's in the background, and Lego finally made it as a character. Only a few people on the Death Star we haven't got as Lego minifigures. And also, I think I know where most of us are going to put this Hot Tub Trooper. Not 4 plus, not 12 plus, better than the gingerbread Darth Vader. I would say better than the Plo Koon. Plo Koon's head mold is real nice. And it is missing, the Plo Koon is missing the arms. So this trooper could have come with some floats. That would have been nice to have seen. It's up there with the Clone Cadet for sure. I think the Clone Cadet is probably the top of Master Builders for me looking at this. So is it top of Master Builders or is it UCS worthy? I think the layer from the X-Wing's a good clear separation from 12 plus to 18 plus, not only the dress piece, which is more accurate. Yeah, I guess so. I'm confused with the layer, right? Because I think the perfect thing for Leia would have been to have got the material skirt from the Ewok Endor village and got that in white, and then have some like legs with white legs still because of the white boots. I don't think they need to detail any higher than that. But the dress piece is basically the same thing. The trooper needs to go in 4 plus. No. So Lego put in everything like that objectively worse than 3PO. But the Hot Tub Trooper, one thing I will say, this has been credited to be the Hot Tub Trooper from the complete saga. I would have preferred, honestly, they don't have the helmet mold. Maybe that was a problem. They had to update it. It doesn't really look like the one from Skywalker Saga either. In the original game, we had the Speedos. We had the Speedos Trooper, which just had blue Speedos. And then in Complete Saga, we had the blue and red stripy swimsuit. In The Force Awakens, we had the First Order Trooper that looked like this guy. First Order logo and a First Order helmet from The Force Awakens. And then in Skywalker Saga, we got plain red shorts for the Imperials. And actually, I think the plain red shorts was only in a promo image, because in game they just gave us white boxes with red love hearts or Lego bricks or something on them. So this trooper hasn't actually appeared in any of the games. In the Death Star, she should have the white legs as a bonus. Yeah, it is like having the hairpiece for the other figures. Like the D&D head swaps as well, or Spider-Man CMF head swaps. Anyone with a dress piece should have either legs, which work for Leia when she's laying down, when she gets rescued. Rescued. She does most of the rescuing in that scene as far as I remember. And then either the legs, or like Gandalf, get the 2x2 slope piece with a sticker or a print. I think that works. Print would work best, so you always keep it at hand and you don't lose it, or you know, don't apply the sticker and then miss the piece years later when you need it. I do kind of agree 4 plus has been inaccuracies, hasn't it? Darth Maul missing the belt buckle, 3PO missing the golden, well, having the silver leg, and this trooper never actually appearing and being a mashup of Skywalker Saga and then the First Order. It looks like the First Order one, I'm going to be honest. So it's quite funny to put it in 4 plus, but I completely agree. It's inaccurate. Objectively, it has to be with 3PO. It has to be with Maul. And I guess that means for the Jawa as well. But the Jawa's fun. The Jawa is fun. Oh, Hot Tub Trooper's a little fun too. But it is inaccurate. Finally, the droid. For Leia, you don't think the Gandalf method works. Palpatine, 100%. Yeah, my Palpatine did have... Does my Palpatine? My Return of the Jedi Palpatine did have a dress piece for some point. I don't think Palpatine's up there. But like the Coruscant gunship Palpatine, like the Rise of Skywalker Palpatine, I think it's just a matter of time. If Palpatine isn't in a set for the next 5 years, Palpatine will have a dress piece. It's just because we keep getting Palpatine, they're reusing the minifigure, rather than switching something up, even with it in the diorama, which might be retiring this year. I'm sure Palpatine's in another set that we've got on shelves. we should get one with a dress piece. That choice would be nice. I love Lego Star Wars, so anything Lego Star Wars, yes, is very nice. What about the droid? No back printing, so it's not BB-8, it's not Master Builders. We've already sort of got a ceiling at Master Builders. We can't go any higher than this. How far does it fall? It's accurate, so we're squishing it. We're squishing it to 12 plus or 18 plus. I guess it kind of belongs next to R5. It's the first time. Thank you very much. Where do we think? 18 plus named characters. You know, the back printing's kind of like the dual molded legs for Imperials. I do feel like the back printing should be more common. It looks like R2-D2 from the front, similar for both. Actually, not too different printing, a bit of the blue plugs and the blue on top, but 18, I think it's better than this one. 12 plus, the clear piece isn't a new color. Oh, good point. No new mold like we've seen with the helmets. All right, Archer's on it today. Next up we have the V19. Well, it's a new mold. All right, a new mold. It's 18 plus. It's been a while since we got a phase 1. I feel like it does belong next to the pilots and the other new helmet molds in here. That fits quite comfortably, although it doesn't need a Karma and it doesn't need dual molded legs, which were the big problems. Dual molded legs for the pilots, Karmas in dual molded legs or materials. All UCS. I think Kenobi, yes. Kenobi and the pilot UCS. Honestly, Ventress could have had, all right, my argument for Ventress and the same for Kenobi was dual molded legs, but Kenobi's robes come down the front and go over the front of the legs. Realistically, it should have been back printing, not dual molded legs. A Sarge Ventress is the same deal. It comes down the front and down the back. Side of the legs shouldn't be that color. Back of the legs should. So until we get that, no more time needed. UCS, done deal. Honestly, you've convinced me. Not just now, but even in the comments of that video, I've been convinced that these figures don't need improvement, and I will be picking up the V19 at some point. It was a lovely build. I know we're focusing on figures, but it was a really nice build. How much is it worth? Let's see. This is one that I think will accrue in value over time. It's selling for 140. What? 40? Oh, 41. I thought that said 141 as the set. What? 128. So still worth double the price. Even used without figures is £76. Wow. Figures only worth £10. I might have to order these as figures because I already have pretty much all the pieces. I think the only parts I was missing was one of the rounded off slopes at the front. And that was it. Oh, and the transparent yellow cockpit, that's only like 90 pence. So I might have to order the figures from this. But for £30, I might wait until the set's on sale. Don't know if the set is on sale anywhere yet. £50 on Amazon. £40 on Very. See, I don't know about Very. How can they be making money when they've got the V19? £17 off already. All right, well, if it drops below £40, you know, we said it here. If it drops below £40, then I will be picking it up. Need to get that. I think it's 52 in B&M. Maybe that's where Amazon have matched it. Amazon have been doing a lot of matching, not to Very, but Very I haven't had any terrible experiences with. A few dodgy dealings here and there, but it's all come through in the end, so it's been all right. But yeah, if it drops below 40, I will be sweeping that up. And we did say when the set come out in August, the May U-wing, June, July, August, 3 months had already dropped to £40. One more month, and next month we've got Christmas sales. It's definitely going to drop below 40 quid. We've just got to catch it. Sarlacc Pit, 48.99 at B&M. Oh, Oh, some good deals. So those minifigures, yeah, I'm liking the UCS. We got the V19, we got Ahsoka, we got Django, Babu, Kenobi's really cool. Solid run. But what about recolors of the Commando droid? It's more accurate, so it's not 4+. I am banning it from 4+. It's accurate. And yeah, rest is up to you. Where are we putting the Commando droid? We don't have any droids, because all the new droids have been, you know, random arms placed on different sides and not really new battle droids. Even the B2s have come out quite a bit over the last couple of years. So where's the Commando droid? I'm trying to judge this based on what we've already got. Oh, it was like it might be. I feel like a lot of the faults with 12+ is either simplistic printing, so recolors. There's a new part on Sim Alu. Maybe because they're not new molds, they're just new colors. They're more of a 12, like a playset, a recolor. They're fixing a mistake in the past. Do we give them brownie points? Less accurate. Oh, I think it's more accurate. I think it's less accurate to the Clone Wars. 18+ droid for the new color. I like that. Yeah, I think it's because where was it? Or was it the games? Was it the games that had them in like a brownish? Yeah, in the Clone Wars, they are gunmetal grey, but they do have tan blobs on them, which make them look brown in like blaster fights. But it was one of the games that they were brown. It might have been Battlefront 2 that I'm thinking of. It might have been after we got them in Lego. Yeah, Outlaws as well. Definitely more of a gunmetal. But they've got brown accents to them. So they've fixed up the colour. We like that. Didn't put the other astromech in because it existed before. Good point. So yeah, 18+ is solid. And the Kaminoan. Another minifigure that I'd love to pick up. Let's see how much this one's worth. This is Lamasu. Tarn Wei is only £3. But I think didn't Tarn Wei show up in like a poly bag or something? Or maybe it was just because the Kenobi set sold so well, they were able to put it on sale and everyone picked up a ton of them. But Lamasu's worth £13+ at the minute. In fact, selling for an average of £20 all in all in 108 sales. Oh, 108 people have bought them for roughly 20 quid. That's quite a little bit. 18+, definitely. Straight to 18+ it is. No questions asked. I like that. And finally, we have a figure that is technically debuting in a magazine, because this figure was, I have a few notes here. It was released originally in the battle pack last year. Did the Coruscant Guard gunship come out first? Either way, we've got it in the battle pack in the gunship. And when the battle pack come out, the Coruscant Guard clone trooper was renamed to the Clone Shock Trooper. And at the time it was said it was a mistake, you know, it's the same minifigure. Lego just didn't realize they'd named it something else. So, you know, scratch off, it's still the Coruscant Guard. However, in the magazine later this year, and I think it's the December issue, it might even be January for us, so that could be good timing. This Clone Shock Trooper is debuting on purpose. 4+, wouldn't buy the small slave one. Oh yeah, that's fair enough. We'll meet in the middle. We'll say 12+ for that. But even if you're not buying the small slave one, what if you pick up the minifigure separately? Like, if this was in the magazine, would you be rushing to stores to pick it up? I would. Imagine that figure in the magazine. I'd probably pick it up and just shave a few of the heads just to make a few custom. I'd 3D print. I wouldn't break the Lego. I'd 3D print a few more heads for Kaminoans. And it is a new element. It is a named character as well. that came in a £60 set. It's kind of like the Ventress Kenobi Pilot though, and I feel like it's more. It's got the dress printing. It's got the dress printing, new mold for the head, but it also has the dress printing above Simalu, perhaps so. And fair point, fair enough. I've argued my case, and yeah, the Coruscant Guard originally come out in February's magazine of this year, and now it's coming out again. Second time we've got it in a year, but it's renamed. The code for the first one, 912403. This is 912511. And it's technically the debut of the new minifigure ahead of next year's mech. So it's pretty cool that we're getting it ahead of the mech. Hello there, Craig Jones. But that being said, I think it's just a regular clone trooper. It's a good one. It is a good one. Oh, we've lost the ability to remove it. It's now on the board forever. Where would we put the Shock Clone Trooper? Assuming this is the one we're getting in next year's mech, we'll rank it a little early. It's the same minifigure we've already had, so this is just a bonus figure so that I could talk about the magazine a little bit more and start. It's a nice transition into next year's set. If it was in the magazine, you'd buy more than 2 copies though, whereas if Plo Koon came out, you'd buy like 5. Oh, good point. I did put the Kaminoan in with Plo Koon. Oh, Plo Koon was missing arm printing. Oh, okay. Plo Koon is like a Master Builder's figure, but because he's missing arm printing, that brings him back. I feel like the Kaminoan needs that middle ground. It's like low 18 plus, high 12 plus, maybe next to Vader. Maybe they are a good 12 plus. Like they're among the top of the ranks, but they're still not quite Plo Koon, are they? The head mold's not that different. A neck bracket would have been cool, especially to use on custom minifigures. That'd have been nice to apply. And I think similar reasons, the Shock Trooper isn't a Bakara Bly or even a Galactic Marine. It's a good minifigure. It's not inaccurate, but you know, it's not quite any. It's not quite 18 plus. 18 plus, you'd want at least some like red arms. We need Half-Life sets. Oh, I'd love to see if there's any of those on Ideas. Let's have a little look. I think Ideas needs a better search, a search bar to have a little look. Lego refuses to make them. Well, okay, there were a few things popping up. None of these are actually Half-Life. A lot of different shows. Yeah, I don't see why they can't be submitted to Lego Ideas. If you have any ideas that you've perhaps mocked up or built, you don't just have to have, for Lego Ideas, you don't just have to have renders of them. You can take pictures in plain backgrounds against a white wall or a wooden desk and upload them as a Lego idea. And if they get the support, they could be made into official sets. We've seen quite a few different themes over the years popping up, and some of them have even gone on to have more sets by Lego because of how successful they were. I like the idea of Plo Koon, despite the fact Plo Koon was in a microfighter. I like the idea of Plo Koon and like Lama Su showing up in the magazine. That would be nice. We need more magazine characters. So the people have spoken. Chat has come across the perfect minifigures in Django, Ahsoka, Babu Kenobi, the clone pilot Kenobi. Something about Kenobi here that's popping up twice in the UCS, and a Sarge Ventress. No arguments from me. Really solid minifigures as well. I think even 18 plus. Master Builders with the clone cadet. We got Dedra Miro with the really cool hat, and the Snowy BB-8, and Luke, the classic Luke, updated and improved. 18 plus is solid. 12 plus, they're decent. You know, I can't complain about them, but I'm not going to be purchasing them individually. And then 4 plus, yes. Special thanks to Archer for most of these. 4 plus, Maul needs that belt. 3PO needs the gold leg rather than silver. And Hot Tub Troopers, can we get the original Hot Tub Troopers rather than the new one? That, like, this is like the 5th iteration of Hot Tub Trooper. So interesting. interesting that Lego went with a new Hot Tub Trooper rather than giving us a previous. I feel like fans would have appreciated a previous design a little bit more. We don't have too much more of a all right, let's try and come back out of this. We don't have too much more of leaks, rumors and the likes from January. There are a few different things that have been, I mean, we've got like little drip leaks and that, but there were a few updates to the March sets that I wanted to have a little look at, because there was something really interesting put out about the March sets. Oh, this is the wrong one. That looks cool though. There was something interesting about the March sets in the fact that they're not all coming with smart bricks. Last few days. Yeah, the next live stream will be on Monday. And I think Monday will be taking a little look at the UCS Death Star, seeing how much we can build, and definitely want to build the conference room. That'll be fun. This is the, oh no, there we go. Here we go. So the Star Wars March Wave, we know what we're expecting for January. Looking forward to that. But important notes have come out about the March Wave. Just because a set, reading straight off the screen here, just because a set doesn't have a smart brick doesn't mean it isn't made for smart play. Interestingly, they've also linked the Mario expansion sets as a reference, because we've got the TIE Fighter and the X-Wing with a smart brick and possibly a third ship. These are 60-70 pound sets, and the third ship is 160, could be some sort of cruiser, maybe like a kind of midi-scale Thrawn Star Destroyer, maybe, possibly something relating to the Mando movie, because we used to get the Mando sets early, but I'm sure they'll probably leave a lot of them for the summer, especially to coincide quite close to the Disney Plus release. But then we've got a $40 set, a $90 set, a $50 set, an $80 set, and a $100 set, all 5 of which could have not the smart bricks in them, but something that could go along with the smart brick. Maybe one of them straight up a charging bay for the smart brick. Star Wars themed, look like Dakar from the sequels, or like a Yavin scene so they can charge the TIE Advance, the X-Wing. It'd be really nice if there was a hole in the UCS Death Star that you could then put the smart brick charging port into and then charge Vader's TIE on the UCS Death Star. Maybe that's the $40 one. It is 215 pieces, which feels steep, but a lot of these sets are quite expensive. I mean, I guess we're looking at dollar prices as well. The dollar has, in Lego terms, gone up. Dollars are going to be more expensive. Rest of the world shouldn't be much more expensive. Hopefully not. And then, yeah, a few 7+, 8+ sets, all in the same ballpark as the smart brick, which makes me feel like these are all going to be one giant smart brick wave, which is either going to do really well or just crash. People are going to crash out, not want to buy any of these sets, and it's just not going to do as well as Lego hope. But I do hope the smart brick is met with some success, just purely on the basis of I'd like to see Lego doing this in the future. The things that Lego can do with a smart brick are so cool, but do they need to be charging that much if sets have just gone up? Already, we're looking at a 400-piece X-Wing for $70, 470 TIE Advance for $60. It seems expensive. Can't wait to see the pound and euro prices. Hopefully they're a bit cheaper. And no offense to those of you living over in the States, I don't want you to be charged an arm and a leg, but at least it'll be a little better if other prices are kept fairly low. Either way, we will have to stick around and find out. That's all for today's stream, going on for 2 hours. And again, check the link in the description of the main stream if you want to see my, let me flash it up. Let me get my, all right, here is my one. And this is what I put together in, oh, I probably did this in like 5 minutes. Not much thought behind it. I would move that trooper down if I could think about it, but this was my initial reaction, no thought behind it. And you know what? Some of my decisions, they held up. They held up. 3PO and Maul in the 4+, bit different. Taking a look at this, I feel like I was a lot harsher with my decision. The 18 and 12+ in the one we did today was my 12+ and 4+, but you can check it out in the link in the description, and also be sure to fill out your own, and maybe we can come back, have a little look at it, and see what everyone thinks individually. That would be very interesting to see. But until Monday, when we'll be taking a look again at the Death Star, that's all for today. Thank you so much for chilling. Thanks, Archer, for a lot of the reasoning as well behind it. You didn't have to supply any reasoning, yet you still did anyway. And until Monday, may the bricks be with you always.